What's going on? What's going on? Oh, Krystal in the building. Let me see if I can figure this out. Krystal in the building.
How you doing?
Man, I can't complain. Any better? I couldn't stand it. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, just at the house.
You in Pineville?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up. At least don't have your trap down here. Let me see if I can find this picture. We're going bug wild down here in New Orleans. All the virus.
Oh yeah.
It's like the
Back up.
home ground. Let me see. There it is. All right, cool. All right, give everybody a little bit of time to jump on. Anybody jumping on? Again, you can ask questions in the question box. Looks like we got three of them already from the story. So feel free. It's going to be we'll kind of go back and forth, myself and Krystal, and we'll just kind of ping pong some questions in there from you guys. So they got the question box at the bottom. You can click the question box, or you can comment in the chat, and we'll try to pin it that way. So what else has been up, man? How's your family?
They're good. They're watching right now, so
Oh yeah, they're gonna be having some good questions on here, or what?
they might. We'll see. I
I like the powder blue, man. I gotta give you one like that. Yeah,
think
big time. Last year, cool. All right, all right. We're gonna get started. Again, anybody jumping on, feel free. Ask some questions. You can ask them either in the chat there, or you can ask them with the little question box at the bottom. Um, Krystal, what year did you graduate from Pineville? 2017?
yeah, I graduated in 2017.
2017. All right, so we got with us Krystal Freeman. She graduated from Pineville High School, class of 2017. She was, like we had posted a couple times already, she was All-State in Louisiana as a high school player, transferred into a career at Tulane, where she is now a senior, coming into her senior year. She was two-time All-Conference already going into her senior year. She was AAC Most Improved. I think that was your sophomore year, correct?
Yes, sophomore year.
Sophomore year. And your most recently was named Louisiana Sports Writer Association first team. I think you were that as well last year, but you're first team for sure this year. I looked it up. So again, man, congratulations on all those accolades. We're glad to have you. How's everything going through all this quarantine madness? I know you said you're back in Pineville. What else is going on?
Thank you. Just trying to stay fit and working out, and my mom bought me a goal to shoot outside, so I shoot outside like every day.
Yeah, mom.
Yeah, shout out to her. So just shoot outside and run a little bit. We have a challenge we do as a team, so we're all just trying to stay together and work out.
Cool. So y'all doing a challenge? Y'all doing like a fitness challenge or like basketball challenge? You tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, pretty much like each day there's like a set of workouts you do, and so we just do a little time lapse and send it to each other. And there's a a sheet that we have our points on there. So like if you do this workout with somebody on FaceTime, you get this certain amount of points. Or if you eat a healthy meal and have your mom or your sister or your brother or somebody work out with you, then you get extra points for that. And it's just a bunch of like things like that. And even like meditation things like reading for 2 hours or going to
That's
sleep
cool.
like 10:30 without any phones or electronics. So
That's cool. That's some smart people kind of basketball. You got to be smart and play at two lanes. That makes perfect sense. I get it now.
that's
You're cutting in and out a little bit. So we enjoy having you on. We're going to kind of talk about your basketball journey, so to say. So again, anybody that's jumping on, I'm going to kind of get her going on her journey and anything. If you want to jump in, a question that you got about either any part of her time or anything really, and we'll kind of jump back and forth. So starting out, first question we'd like to ask, is when did you first start playing basketball?
I started playing basketball seriously around like seventh, maybe sixth grade. I'll say sixth grade, because I remember playing like Pineville League, and then when I went to junior high, I played in 7th and 8th grade, and I did AAU with like Livingston ladies, and that's when it got serious, and then it just went on from there.
Cool. And then, so let's kind of like transition from that. So you went into high school, Pineville High School. You had a great career there. You know, you guys were 5A, made the playoffs all 4 years. Thinking back to like your recruiting process, you know, when did your recruiting process start? What helped you out with all that along your journey along the way?
I remember my first letter was from like Tennessee, not like the Vols, like some smaller D1 school when I was a freshman, but like I never talked to anybody. And my first like full scholarship was from Tech junior year, and I was contacted by a lot of people from around the state, like the mid majors, like LSU. I mean not LSU, Tech and McNeese and UL and schools like that. And I was able to just talk a lot with them, and I narrowed it down, and I was able to choose Tulane, and just a lot of that came from just playing a lot of AAU. So just playing AAU basketball was able to expose me to like a lot of different people, so like they could see the talent on our team and contact us.
For sure. And I mean, those that don't know, I coached, helped coach her junior year AAU 1 year, and it was a blast, man. We had a lot of talent, a ton of kids that could really play that year. It wasn't very difficult to coach that team. We were just having fun and kind of keep it entertaining and challenge y'all whatever we can. I remember we were up by like, I forgot what it was. I think we were up like 40 or something. I was like, look, guys, let's just try to get 3 stops in a row. Like that's our new challenge. We're not worried about the scoreboard. We're trying to see how many stops in a row we can get. But I'm glad you talked about that, man. The biggest thing that I really try to emphasize to people is how important AAU is. You know, like there's 400 high schools in Louisiana, and whenever we play AAU, for the most part, you know, we're always going to the same general area, and then all the college coaches can come out at the same time. They're not in season. Can you kind of talk about, again, for those that don't know, you played with Coach KJ Lees now at Southeastern, but whenever it was the Louisiana Ladies Select, can you kind of talk about that, how that really ramped up to a whole nother level? Even you talked with about Livingston Ladies, you know, that kind of got you into the loop, but whenever you really got to Louisiana Ladies Select, how that really jumped to another level.
Oh yeah, playing with KJ and that team, he valued defense so much, and so like since defense was like the bread and butter, we were able to just stop teams and be able to showcase our talents and actually like travel to different areas to show the whole United States like what we're capable of. And just like playing with him and that team, I think that's where I was able to get to where I am today as a player and like schooling as well. And like I think AAU is really important, especially if you find the right fit. And I think KJ just pushing us and like being on that team with those group of girls, they're all so talented. I think all of them went to sign somewhere, and we were all just able to play together and just play hard and be able to win some games.
For sure, no doubt. Iron sharpens iron, and I think that's a big part of it. You know, like no one really stood out as the best player. We're all having a lot of kids, like you said, that all went and played college basketball somewhere. So you know, you're able to fill off of if somebody else was getting some looks, you know, they came to watch them. You were also getting those looks as well, and that's also another big part of everything. Again, everyone that's joining, feel free, guys. You can comment either in the chat or a little question box at the bottom. We'll get to some questions now. Speaking of Coach KJ, let's see what he's got here. Question for you. How was your approach towards basketball different from your freshman to sophomore year? I'm assuming he's talking about college because those of you that don't know, Krystal came in freshman year. She not necessarily struggled, but didn't get as many opportunities, I would say. Only averaged 2 points, 2 rebounds. But then her sophomore year, she really jumped up and was named. She made it to the all-conference team, and she was also named most improved player in the AAC. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I remember. It's kind of funny. I was talking to my teammates today about this. A few of them about like freshman year, you just come in and you're gonna play, and I didn't really play that much, unfortunately. Remember like asking Coach Dunk like, what can I do? Like, how can I get in the game and help? Like, because we weren't that successful. Like, we had a losing record. So I was like, well, what can I do to help the team? And they were always harping on defense. by that time in the season, it was just too late for me to actually get into the rotation because it was conference time and it was just a little difficult for them to throw me in. And so I think during the summer, that was like the key time. I stayed both sessions. We had the option to go home, but I decided to stay. And I just worked on my strength. And like every time we had like an hour practice or we would play pickup, I would try and guard. Like I remember guarding Arlen a lot. She was like the five and she started. I remember guarding her. She was taller than me and everything. I remember guarding her a lot and just working on those things, just like focusing solely on my defense. And that just brought me up from here to here. Because I knew offensively I was going to be fine. And plus, offense is the fun part. Like, that's what everybody goes to the gym. So I think that's just focusing on that one thing I think that helped me.
For sure, man. I agree 1,000% with that. I think leading to this next question that I have pinned here, in Louisiana, we don't necessarily take strength training very seriously, especially at the high school level. So that's a big gap. And you really talked about, like, at the end of the day, you're playing with grown women. You're playing with 25-year-old women, the UConns, and, you guys' conference is very tough. Not to mention teams outside of that, UCF, USF, you can go all the way down the line, Houston, we can just keep on naming them all. It's really, really tough. So on the flip side of off the court, the question I have pinned here is what things do you think, like what do you do for your diet to stay in shape? And that goes into not only, staying in shape, of course, but also, like you said, strength in general.
Well, at school, they developed this our own like eating area just for athletes. So they have a lot to choose from, like health wise. Like every day there will be grilled chicken, a salad bar, and all those things. And like some days they have like nice days like Wing Wednesday. Wing Wednesday is everybody's favorite, and it's actually really good. And then we eat there. I eat there a lot, or a good bit. And I'm not gonna lie, I eat a lot of Chipotle. Like Chipotle is my favorite. So it's those that I eat a lot.
That's all right, though. That's all right. That's all chicken at the end of the day, man. That's good protein for sure.
Right.
So there's Coach KJ. He missed his question. We're going to have to come back to him. I'm going to clip it for him. So again, guys, anybody who's joining on, feel free to ask questions. The easiest way to do it is ask the questions in the little question box at the bottom. You can comment in the chat as well. Let's get to some more questions. What's been the hardest part about playing college basketball? Great question.
That is a good question. I think the hardest part at first, I'd say like freshman year and sophomore year would be balancing school and playing. Because, like, obviously the workouts are so ramped up from high school. And you're going to be like you have like all this work you have to do, and you're trying to like maintain a good GPA. Because, like, I'm shooting for A's and B's. And so there's that. And then, like, you're so tired from the new workouts, and like everything is just completely new. So it's just like mentally trying to figure out what you want to do and like scheduling everything correctly and just getting used to like being sore
And
24.
you got no mom and dad there looking over your shoulder,
Right. And you
make it.
do
how
whatever.
how far away? How far is the drive for you from Pineville to?
It's a good 3 hours.
Yeah. So
Not
that's still far enough to where they're not coming and checking on you all the time. You're making sure you got to do your own thing. That's a big thing that a lot of the freshmen really struggle with. Like you said, at the end of the day, what are you majoring in?
applied systems and computing, so like computer science and like the coding.
What does that mean? What are you gonna do?
Applied system and computing, so it's like coding and those
So
kind.
you're gonna be doing like security, or like what are you gonna be doing with that? Like developing stuff?
Yeah, I kind of want to do like software development, like make an app or something. Like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you're definitely the smartest person in this interview right now.
Thank you.
All right, we'll get back to some more questions again. Let's see. All right. What grade did you have to? What grade did you really take serious? Like, what grade did you start taking basketball serious? It was a little later question. Somebody jumped in later.
I think, I guess 10th, ninth, 10th grade, because ninth grade, my high school team, we actually got to the quarterfinals. That's the farthest I've ever made it in high school was the quarterfinals. And it was like, wow, like I really wanted to win that championship. Like I really did. And so like playing AAU, I went with KJ. Like the way KJ coached and like as hard as we worked, like I don't want that to just be for no reason, like just to go like just to for high school. So
Yeah,
like the next level, I think that's when I realized like that's what I wanted to do is go to the next level and play.
that's awesome. Again, it goes back to iron sharpens iron, man. Whenever you're around people that get the same goals and same aspirations as you, it goes a long ways.
I agree.
Um, let's see. We got another question. We already did that one. Describe, in your opinion, the perfect leader. How would you implement these traits into basketball?
The perfect leader. Okay. The perfect leader, because leading is like has different routes you can go. Because personally, I'm not the loudest person. Like I will never be the loudest person in the room. Very rare. But I think the perfect leader is probably somebody who can lead by example and also be loud and like fun, hyped up and yelling. And I also think that they could be somebody who's gonna approach somebody and be able to say like, "Hey, you didn't like you're not on it today, but like we got to get on it. Like we got to get on it." And like be able to like talk to people and like criticize and but also be able to take criticism back. And like I mean, leadership like that goes with basketball hand in hand because like you're working with four other girls or guys, whoever, on your team and like say like you're going all out and somebody's upset because they like missed their jump shot that they normally always make. Like that's okay. You're gonna get that shot back, and like you're working as hard as you can, and somebody else is kind of like sad, so it's like you have to go up to them and just be like, "Come on, like you got it" or something. And just being encouraging, like all of that goes into being the perfect leader, I think.
For sure. That's going to transition off the basketball court as well. Like you talk about being the perfect leader. Like what you explained was you're able to adapt to every different personality, and at the end of the day, that's what it's going to take. And you've been a leader at Tulane. You're going to be even more of a leader, and we definitely expect some big things from you. No pressure.
I don't know. I don't know much about pressure right now.
I like it. I like it. All right, we got some questions about UConn, of course. How do you feel about them going to the Big East? And B, how was it playing UConn for the first time?
Playing, okay, I'll answer the playing UConn for the first time question. Playing them for the first time, a little starstruck because my freshman year was like Katie Lou, Neficia Collier, Kia Nurse, like all of them. And it was actually at UConn. It wasn't even at home. So we were at UConn. The gym was sold out because the year before that Tulane had lost to UConn by 3. So everybody came to that game, and so it was sold out, and it was just so crazy. I never that, especially with like competition like them, and so like I was a little starstruck. But I remember like my first points against them was like a shot from the elbow, like something out every day. Like that's something that's cake. Like make that. So it went in. Everybody's like screaming, and we're down like a lot. But that I think it's a cool memory to have. Like I'll always remember that.
For sure. Y'all got them one more year, or they moved out this year?
They're gone now. Like
Gone. Yeah.
it's our last game.
Gotcha. Hey, the league's wide open. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
All right. Question: what are you looking forward to your senior year? As in winning a championship, losing, gaining some new freshmen?
I think what I'm looking forward to. There's two things. I think I want to step into like a new role, like the leadership stuff, because I've always been pretty shy and timid, and I'm looking forward to trying something new and just like getting out of my comfort zone. And also, I think because UConn is gone, like you said, it's wide open, and I think we can really get it. Like everybody's saying that, whatever, but I really believe it. Like we're not losing. We're really not losing much. We lost like a shooter, but hopefully, like we can pick up where that leaves off. So like I think we have nothing but like talent and like we can do it. Like we really can.
No doubt, man. We're gonna be rooting for y'all for sure. Again, guys, anybody that's jumping on here lately, you can ask any questions you want. Ask them in the comments. I'm trying to pin a couple of those, but the easiest way to do it is ask in the little question box at the bottom. It's a great question right here. What's been your most memorable moment from Tulane? I'm gonna have to go back and clip the where you hit the game winner and the ball just stood on the rim forever and then
Yeah.
went in.
Yes, it's definitely the buzzer beater against Tulsa in overtime. That was so crazy. And the first play that I was actually drawn up, it was just for me to like drive to the basket, and I didn't even drive. I like pulled up and missed it, and then thankfully Mia Heidi got the rebound. And like, I mean, if you watch that clip of her getting the rebound, it was so crazy. She is like going crazy getting the ball, and there's like three Tulsa players around her, and she gets it and passes it to me, and I make it, and like it just spinning on the goal, it like hit every part of the rim. It really did, and then it just went in. Everybody's like screaming and running, like
No doubt.
piece. So
So cut that back to us. What was the original play? Do you remember the score or anything? Y'all were tied at the moment. It was an overtime. Like you said, explain the play to us, and I'll go back and kind of clip it so everyone can kind of see.
it was like 62 to 62, and we had spaced out, and I had cut up to like the elbow area, and when I turned, I was wide open, and I thought that I was just gonna be able to rip and like go to the basket, but the girl was so far back, I didn't even realize I just pulled up and shot it, and I missed it, and I was a little off balance. You'll be able to tell, but thankfully that rebound saved it.
Second chance. I love it, man. Dennis Rodman, y'all. Everyone needs a Dennis Rodman, even Michael Jordan. Um, Another cool little question. Same person asked. So what's your favorite off the court moment at Tulane?
Off the court moment. There's a lot. Okay. Um, Off the court, I guess probably when we travel, like we're not on the floor. So I guess this counts. Like freshman year, we went to the Bahamas, and it was so crazy because after this game, we went to this restaurant, and somehow the restaurant like turned into like this dance party. Like even the teams, a team we just beat was dancing with us, and like it was so cool, and everybody was dancing. The coaches, some of the parents that came, that was probably so. Or like even riding a jet ski for the first time, that was crazy, and it was so funny because one of my teammates, we were on there, and like we didn't want to go back and switch for me to drive, so we switched in the middle of the ocean. And it was so scary.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like you get so many memories in college. You know, you think you have a lot of friends in high school, but you're really developing so many more friends in college. And you know, you're away from your parents for the first time. You're growing up a lot. And you're gonna have bridesmaids and everything else in college. Like you're gonna get a lot of your people that are gonna be in your wedding are gonna be in college. Great point, there, man. That's awesome. Cool little question here. What was the best story Coach Stockton ever told since being at Tulane? Coach Stockton story.
Coach Stockton always tells us, like she says this really a lot about how she missed the last shot of her career. I don't know why that's the first thing that pops into my head, but she always tells us about how she missed the last shot of her career, and like it was like to win a game, I think, because they were in like a tournament or something. And it's like that's just what I remember. She always tells us that at least like once a week. I swear it's like once.
Don't let that happen to you, man. It's gotta be a
No.
game winner, man. Just like against Tulsa.
Yes, I hope.
I've got another question from a middle school player. She asked, Do you have any pregame rituals or routines? Any superstitions, I guess.
Okay. I have one song that I always listen to before a game. It's called MVP by Russ. I've listened to it since freshman year of college. That's when I started that. So like if I don't like I feel like I'm like, oh god, I gotta listen to this song before the game. And if I don't, like I don't, so that's the song.
Cool. You're breaking up a little bit. Still staying with us. Let me see. We got some more questions. Got a question about incoming freshmen. I know most of us already know about Jacayla coming in. I think that was a great get. You want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on her and Mackenzie and how they can kind of help impact the team?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see for them to come in. Because number one, like it's gonna be so fun like to help the freshmen and like teach them the system, and obviously like getting to know them outside of basketball. I'm looking forward to that. And to have Kayla, I think it's a really good get for us, and like she'll be able to bring in her athleticism and just be able. I think she'll be able to come in and just gel with us pretty quick because I mean she's from New Orleans, so we've talked to her a whole bunch of times. Like, so having her, that's good. And Mackenzie, she's came down a few times and like got to meet up with her and talk with her. And she came to the camp so that last summer, and we got to watch her play. So I think she'll fit in right with our system as well. And just having them two, I think, will just help with what we want to accomplish.
For sure. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about your game in general? What position you play? How is that transition from high school to college?
Okay. Yeah. In high school, I was actually the center, and I'm only 6 feet tall. So coming into college, it was a new position, and I was in the four right now. And this past season, I played a little bit of three. It was a little, just a little bit, not too much. I wouldn't say that's like my primary position or anything. But I'm the four, and like my game really centers around the mid range mostly. But I expanded it out to the three this past season. It was pretty successful. Um, and like I still have post moves from just being a five, like turning around and jumping. I think I can elevate pretty high, and just I'm working on my handles right now so I can be more of a consistent three. I think that'll be pretty essential to playing after college.
For sure. So, what are your plans after college? I know you talked about this developing software thing that kind of went like way over my head, but what are your plans after college?
Well, I'm gonna see how far I can go with basketball first. I think hopefully I'll pretty sure I'll be able to go overseas, but like if I could stay here, I'll definitely try and stay here. But just wherever God takes me with that, as I have no idea.
Amen. Nobody knows. If you do, if you think you do, he'll certainly surprise you.
Oh yeah.
Um, Again, guys, we'll be on for like another 5 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free drop them in the question box on the bottom. Who is your role model when it comes to basketball?
Ooh. Okay. That's a good question. I think role model hard because like growing like watching TV, everybody like I love LeBron James. Like house, besides my sister, I don't know if she likes LeBron that much, but LeBron, like everybody likes LeBron in this house. So I like watching him. Like I've always liked watching him, and I know that I noticed like when I was younger, like my sister played a lot of basketball, so watching her play basketball made me want to play basketball. So I can give her credit as well. So I think those two probably go hand in hand. So LeBron and my sister just kind of put the basketball in my head to just do what I'm doing.
I love it, man. That's cool. That's cool. So again, the audience that we're kind of speaking to and the people that are watching are mostly middle school, high school kids, maybe some kids that are in college and on down the line. Can you kind of think back to, I guess, when you were in their footsteps, whether it's basketball, recruiting process, anything you would have done differently or any advice you can kind of give them?
Yeah, I think during the recruiting process, I wouldn't waste anybody's time. And what I would do different is that like I said, just wouldn't waste anybody's time. Just narrow it down a little faster than what I did because I knew that like the five schools I had in mind, but I was still like kind of talking to other people. And so I think and like go visit, like go see what you want to see because I know I only took one official visit and clearly it was Tulane. So I had already seen some schools just because I'm from Louisiana and like the little summer camps and all of that. But like I didn't get to go actually tour the school and hear all the good things they wanted to tell me. So I think going around and like using at least two or three of your official visits, I think that's pretty important. I think I would do that and change that.
That's great advice, man. And the rules kind of changed a little bit. I don't know if it was somewhere around your senior year where they kind of changed, but now you can take visits in April.
Mm.
So you can take them a little earlier your junior year. You don't have to wait as long. You can always do unofficial visits, man. That's great advice. If anyone's recruiting you, even as a sophomore, as a junior, you can always just drive up to their campus and see them in general. And it's going to be just the same as it normally would, but they can't pay for anything. That's great advice. We got another question, really good one. Can you talk about social media and being disciplined on social media? And I even see it on our social media. Like people don't realize when you click like on the Twitter, it's going to pop up in everyone else's feed. So you got to be careful what you like, be careful what you retweet, what everything on down the line. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's important to just like be mindful of what you're liking and retweeting because everybody can see it. And even though you like think it's just in your likes, it's not true. Like everybody and people dig through that. Like when you're trying to go say apply for a job, like when you're being recruited, people are gonna dig through your social media because I would too. That'd be the first thing I'd look up. That's what everybody does, and like look through your social media and see like what kind of person you are. So obviously, you have to be very mindful of just the type of things you like and retweet. So,
Do y'all do any type of, I guess, education at Tulane when it comes to that, social media, talking to the press, all that?
wait, what do you mean?
Do y'all do like doing any training or anything, like for interviews and stuff like that?
Not really for interviews, but we did have like a social media boot camp, and it
Yeah.
was telling us basically be mindful and like she showed us some tweets that people like that would be really bad and like it's just kind of a refresher of stuff like this. But
Yeah. Cool. Uh, cool little question here again. If you could play one on one against anyone, who would it be and why?
mm, that is hard because a lot of players. I probably still have to give it to LeBron because I mean he's the first player like like you fall in love with like watching NBA. So I'd probably give it to LeBron. Watch him beat me because he's too
That's all
good.
right. Hey, you can give him a little forearm every now and then. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to shoot it.
So again, talking about your game, we got another question. Who do you kind of like model your game after? Would you say like you kind of talked about playing inside for the most part, moving your game outside more. Who would you say you model your game after?
I think Elena Deladon is a pretty good example because she's kind of like a tall guard. She can shoot the three, but she can also go ahead and turn around and shoot it. And like that was like my first move, just turn around and shoot it in high school. So I was taller than everybody, so I think her.
I love it. I love it. Again, Krystal, appreciate you coming on, man. It's been great. Just as far as like a role model in general, I know you'd be open. That's why I really wanted you to kind of come on. I know you'd be open to come on, and if anyone wanted to reach out with you, of course I'll have your Instagram now. I'll post kind of some Twitter stuff as well. So guys, if y'all want to reach out to her, reach out to her. She'll be more than welcome to help you guys. Do you have any other advice you want to leave us with? Again, to the level of the middle school, high school kid, high school student athlete, that's like the whole vision of this in general is for kids to see, where they want to be. Kids that have walked in their footsteps, like you are that girl that they want to be eventually, and you're the girl playing and living out their dream. Is there any advice you can kind of leave us with?
I think just when it gets hard, just don't stop because you really never know. Like I remember freshman year, I was thinking about like transferring because I didn't play, and it was just like no, like it's all about your mentality and just not giving up and just fighting through adversity.
For sure. And for those that don't know, again, that came on late, man. Her freshman year, she played she averaged 2 points, 2 rebounds, played like 8 minutes, fought back. She talked about it already. She went summer school session A, summer school session B, just grinded it out, got after it, and then it all paid off because her sophomore year, she was named AAC Most Improved Player, and she was named to the All-Conference team. So again, Krystal, we're definitely looking forward to watching you, keeping up with you guys. We said it already. The conference is wide open, man. You guys go out there, win this thing. We're proud of you, man. And if you need anything my way, please reach out.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Krystal.
No problem.
I seen all these people out here, dog. It was just a great feeling again, man. We brought it back. We said we was gonna do it last year, cuz, but we didn't get it done.